Lena Hart almost missed him that first morning. The office building was still half asleep, lights buzzing softly, the smell of cleaning liquid hanging in the air. Lena walked fast, holding her coffee like it was the only thing keeping her awake. She was new, nervous, and already late. That was when she saw an old man struggling with a heavy trash bag near the elevator. The bag tore. Paper cups and folders spilled across the floor. The old man sighed, not loud, not angry, just tired. Lena stopped. She looked around. People were walking past, eyes forward, pretending nothing had happened. Something in her chest tightened. She put down her bag and knelt beside him. "Me help," she said. The old man looked surprised, as if no one had spoken to him in years. His eyes were clear and sharp, not dull like she expected. "Thank you," he said. His voice was calm, deep, steady. They worked quickly. When they finished, Lena stood and brushed dust from her skirt. "I'm Lena." He smiled. Not a big smile. Careful one. "Cole," he said. "Most people call me Mr. Cole." She nodded and hurried to the elevator, already late, already forgetting him. But the next morning, he was there again. And the next. And the next. Mr. Cole cleaned the halls before sunrise. He moved slowly, but with purpose, like every step had meaning. Lena started arriving early, not on purpose at first, but somehow. She always crossed paths with him. They spoke in small pieces at the start, about the weather, about how the coffee machine on the third floor was always broken, about nothing important. Then one morning, Lena was crying. She didn't mean to. It just happened. She was standing near the window, staring at the city below. When the tears came, quiet, embarrassing. Mr. Cole stopped mopping. "Bad morning?" he asked. She wiped her face quickly. "Just tired." He nodded. Tired doesn't always come from work. Something about that made her speak. She told him about her rent going up, about her boyfriend, Aaron, who said she wasn't pushing hard enough in life, about feeling like she was running but never arriving. Mr. Cole listened without interrupting. When she finished, he leaned on his mop. "Some people confuse speed with direction," he said. "Running fast doesn't matter if you're running in circles." Lena laughed through her tears. "You're very wise for a janitor." He smiled again, that careful smile. Life teaches us if we pay attention. From that day on, she trusted him. She told him about her childhood in a small town, about her mother who worked 2 jobs, about never knowing her father. She told him she wanted more, but didn't know what more looked like. Mr. Cole never judged, never rushed her. Sometimes he shared small stories too, about mistakes, about losing people, about silence being louder than anger. He never spoke of his family. The office workers still ignored him. Some barely nodded. One manager once snapped at him for leaving a wet floor sign in the wrong place. Mr. Cole apologized calmly. Lena watched anger burning in her chest. After that, she started bringing him coffee. Aaron noticed. "You're spending a lot of time with that janitor," he said one night, half joking, half not. "He's just a friend," Lena said. Aaron shrugged. "Just don't forget who matters." Those words stayed with her. One afternoon, Lena stayed late to finish a report. The building was quiet, empty. She heard humming in the hallway. Mr. Cole was polishing the floor, moving slowly. "You should be home," she said. "So should you?" he replied. She sighed and sat on the floor beside him. "Do you ever wish you could start over?" He stopped polishing. "Every day," he said honestly. "But wishing doesn't change the past. Choosing does." "Choosing what?" "Who you are when no one is watching." Lena thought about that for a long time. Days turned into weeks. Mr. Cole noticed things others didn't. When Lena changed her haircut, when she stopped wearing her favorite necklace, when she looked at her phone and felt disappointment. "You deserve to be chosen," he said once. Out of nowhere, she blinked. Chosen for what? For love, for respect, for being yourself. That night, she argued with Aaron. He said she was too soft, too emotional. comfortable being average. He said he needed someone who wanted more. Lena slept alone, staring at the ceiling. The next morning, Mr. Cole was quiet. He seemed tired in a way she hadn't seen before. His hands shook slightly as he cleaned. "Are you okay?" she asked. He nodded. Old bones, she wanted to believe him. A week later, a notice appeared on the staff board. Budget cuts. Staff review. Positions under consideration. Janitorial services were listed at the top. Lena felt cold. She found Mr. Cole. In the stairwell. "They're cutting jobs," she said. "I'm scared for you." He looked at the paper calmly. Too calmly. "Everything ends," he said. "It's the middle that matters." "But it's not fair," she said. "You work harder than anyone." He met her eyes. "Fairness is rare. Kindness is rarer." That evening, Lena stayed late again. She saw Mr. Cole emptying his locker. Just a few items: a folded cloth, an old watch, small notebook. Her throat tightened. "Hey, already told you." He nodded. "Tomorrow is my last day." "No," she said. "There must be something I can do." He shook his head gently. "You've already done enough." She went home angry. Angry at the building. Angry at the world. Angry at herself for being small. The next day she wore her best dress. She spoke to her boss. She argued, she begged. She offered to work weekends. Nothing worked. That night, Aaron called. He got a job offer in another city, a big one. "I'm going," he said. "I need more." "And me?" Lena asked. Silence. "I think we want different things," he said. She hung up without saying goodbye. It was raining when she left the building. She stood under the awning, heartbreaking, future unclear. Across the street, under a streetlight, Mr. Cole watched her. He was standing straighter than usual. His coat was gone. His face was serious, proud, and sad all at once. He whispered to himself. She passed. And Lena walked into the rain, unaware that her life was about to change forever. Lena Hart arrived in the city with one suitcase, a thin wallet, and a belief that hard work would protect her. The city did not care about beliefs. It moved fast, loud, and sharp. And Lena learned quickly to keep her head down. She worked at a tall office building made of glass and steel, the kind that reflected the sky but never warmth. Every morning she walked through its doors telling herself she would survive one more day. On a cold Monday, she saw him. The hallway smelled of soap and lemon cleaner. The lights flickered as if unsure they wanted to stay on. Near the elevator, an old man struggled with a trash bag too heavy for his thin arms. The bag tore, and trash spilled across the floor. Coffee cups rolled, papers slid under doors. The sound echoed. People walked around the mess. Lena slowed, then stopped. She watched shoes step over the trash. She felt something hard press against her chest. She set down her bag and knelt. "Here," she said. "I've got it." The old man looked at her like she had surprised him. His eyes were not cloudy or weak. They were alert, deep, almost searching. "Thank you," he said. His voice was low and calm. He picked everything up quickly. He moved carefully, but not clumsily. When they finished, he tied the bag with neat fingers. "I'm Lena," she said, standing. "Cole," he replied. "Mr. Cole?" She smiled and rushed to the elevator, already late, already nervous about her first meeting of the day. She forgot about him by lunchtime. By evening, she barely remembered his face. The next morning, he was there again. He wiped the glass doors with slow, even strokes. He nodded when he saw her. "Good morning." "Morning," she replied, surprised he remembered her. Soon, seeing Mr. Cole became part of her routine. He was always early, always quiet, always working. He never complained. He never rushed. The building felt calmer when he was around. Their talks were short at first. A comment about the weather. A joke about the broken coffee machine. One morning, he noticed her shaking hands. "You should eat breakfast," he said. She laughed. "I don't have time." He looked at her seriously. "Your body keeps score even when you don't." She stared at him, unsure why his words felt heavy. One morning, Lena arrived with red eyes. She thought no one would notice. Mr. Cole did. "Bad night?" he asked. She hesitated, then shrugged. "Life." He nodded, like that answer was enough. They stood in silence for a moment. The city woke up around them. Then she spoke without planning to. She talked about money, about rent, about how everything felt temporary and fragile. She talked fast, afraid she might stop. Mr. Cole listened. He didn't look away. He didn't check the time. "Pressure makes us honest," he said when she finished. "That's when we show who we really are." "You talk like someone who's lived a big life," she said. "Lived a long one," he replied. After that, she trusted him. She told him about her mother, who worked until her hands cracked, about growing up counting coins, about loving books because they promised other worlds. She told him about Aaron, her boyfriend, who liked success more than patience. Mr. Cole never spoke badly about anyone. He only asked careful questions. Does he listen? Does he show up? Does he see you? Sometimes she answered yes. Sometimes she didn't answer at all. The building treated Mr. Cole like furniture. People spoke over him. Some spoke down to him. Once a manager blamed him for a spill he didn't cause. Mr. Cole apologized anyway. Lena burned with anger. "Wasn't your fault," she said later. He smiled gently. "Peace is sometimes worth more than pride." She didn't agree, but she admired him. Days moved fast. Work piled up. Aaron grew distant. Lena woke up the morning after the rain feeling hollow, like something important had slipped out of her chest during the night. The city outside her window looked the same, but she felt different. She dressed slowly, chose plain clothes, and left without breakfast. Her phone stayed silent. Aaron did not call. At the office, the air felt tight. People whispered near the coffee machine. Screens glowed with unread emails. The notice about budget cuts was gone from the board, but everyone remembered it. Fear has a way of staying even after paper disappears. Mr. Cole was already working. He was cleaning the glass near the entrance, his movements steady, careful. He looked up when he saw her. "You're early," he said. "I didn't sleep," she replied. He nodded. The mind works overtime when the heart is busy. She wanted to ask how he slept, but something stopped her. Instead, she followed him down the hall, helping without asking. They worked in silence, side by side. That morning passed quickly. Lena answered emails, joined meetings, pretended to focus. Her thoughts drifted. Every sound made her jump. Every laugh felt forced. At lunch, Aaron finally texted, "We need to talk tonight." Hands shook as she put the phone down. That afternoon, Mr. Cole asked her a strange question. "If you had a chance to leave your life behind for comfort," he said, "would you take it?" She looked at him. What kind of comfort? Money, security, no worries. She thought of Aaron, of his hunger for more, of the empty feeling that followed every argument. "I don't think comfort means peace," she said slowly. "I think peace comes from knowing who you are." Mr. Cole studied her face as if memorizing it. "That answer costs something," he said. "What do you mean?" He smiled faintly. "Truth is never free." That evening, Lena met Aaron at their small apartment. He stood by the window, phone in hand, already dressed to leave. "I got the offer," he said. "Big company, big future." She waited. "It's in another city," he continued. "I'm leaving next week. And me?" she asked. "Hey," sighed, "you're not ready for this life." The words landed hard. "I work just as much as you," she said. "But you don't want enough," he replied. "You settle. You care about small things." She thought of Mr. Cole, of quiet mornings, of kindness without reward. "Maybe small things matter," she said. Aaron shook his head. "I can't stay small." He packed a bag that night. He kissed her forehead like she was a child. Then he left. Lena sat on the floor long after the door closed. The next days blurred together. Aaron moved out. His side of the closet emptied. His presence faded fast. Work piled up. The office buzzed. With tension, then came the announcement. Janitorial services would be reduced. Final decisions made by the end of the week. Lena's heart dropped. She found Mr. Cole in the supply room. He was organizing bottles, labels facing out. "They're cutting your department," she said. Breathless. "I know," he replied calmly. "You're not even angry." "No," he said. "Anger wastes energy." "But this isn't right," she said. "You've been here longer than most of them." He closed the cabinet and turned. To her, "Lena, tell me something. Why do you work so hard?" She blinked. To survive, and beyond that, she hesitated to matter. He nodded. "Then don't let fear teach you who you are." She didn't understand, but the words stayed with her. That night she couldn't sleep. She replayed every conversation, every look. She wondered why losing a janitor hurt more than losing a boyfriend. The next morning, she arrived early with a plan. She went to her boss. She argued. She showed numbers. She offered solutions. She offered herself. "I'll work extra hours." She said, "I'll take on more tasks. Just keep him." Her boss looked tired. "It's not personal. It never is," Lena said. Nothing changed. She found Mr. Cole later, packing his locker. The sight broke something inside her. "That's it?" she asked. "Tomorrow is my last day," he said. She swallowed hard. "I'm sorry." He shook his head. "Don't be. Endings tell us what mattered." She wanted to hug him, but didn't. Instead, she helped him fold his things. They worked slowly, carefully. "You know," he said softly, "most people fail tests they never know they're taking." She looked up. "What test?" He smiled. "Life's." That night, Lena walked home alone. The streets felt louder. She felt smaller. She wondered if caring had been a mistake. The next day was Mr. Cole's last. Lena brought coffee and pastries. She wrote a card but didn't know what to say, so she left it blank. She followed him as he cleaned, refusing to let the day pass quietly. People barely noticed. A few nodded. One shook his hand. Most kept walking. At the end of the shift, Mr. Cole stood near the door, looked around like he was saying goodbye to more than walls. "Thank you," he said to Lena. "For what?" she asked. "For seeing me." She felt tears rise. "I'll miss you." He placed a hand over hers. "We'll meet again." She smiled sadly. "I don't think so." He didn't answer. That evening, Lena stayed late. The building felt empty without him. She sat at her desk, staring at nothing. Across the street, under the fading light, Mr. Cole stood watching the building. His posture was straight now, his face serious, his eyes sharp. Inside his coat pocket was a phone. Messages waited. Decisions waited. "She chose kindness," he said quietly. The day the letter arrived, Lena wasn't sure what to expect. She found it on her desk, neatly placed atop a stack of files. The envelope was thick, creamy, and stamped with an unfamiliar seal. Her name, handwritten in careful letters, made. Her stomach twist. She turned it over slowly, almost afraid to open it. Every instinct told her this was no ordinary correspondence. She tore the envelope, unfolded the letter, and read the words aloud in the quiet office. An invitation. A request. To visit an address on the outskirts of the city. She blinked several times. The handwriting matched the seal. It was formal. It was commanding. It was personal. Her pulse quickened. Something told her that stepping through that door would change everything. She left work early, hailing a cab that seemed to carry her faster than the city's usual pace. Traffic blurred past, the world a smear of gray and orange. But she barely noticed. Her mind raced with questions. Who would invite her? Why? She thought of Mr. Cole, his quiet strength, his calm eyes, the way he had watched her, waited, and tested her without her knowing. Could it really be him? Somehow she dared to hope. The address led her to a hill where a sprawling house rose against the sky, tall and imposing, yet welcoming in its own way. The gate was open, polished stone reflecting the afternoon sun. She stepped inside, clutching her bag, her heart hammering. A soft footstep behind her made her pause. Men in suits appeared at intervals, polite but unreadable. She felt small among them, but she pressed on. At the center of the grand hall, standing taller and straighter than she had ever seen him, was Mr. Cole, or rather Jonathan Cole, III, her grandfather. The man who had seemed fragile and quiet, who had mopped floors with care and watched her so intently, was no ordinary janitor. He was wealth, power, and history wrapped in human skin. He was looking at her as though he had been waiting for this moment for decades. Lena froze, unsure if she should speak. Her throat was dry. Her mind raced back to all the mornings she had shared with him. The conversations that had changed her understanding of kindness, patience, and truth. She remembered the way he had asked questions she didn't know she needed to answer. The way he had observed her silently, testing her in ways she had never realized. "I owe you the truth," he said softly, walking toward her. "I am not who you thought I was." Her heart skipped a beat. You were testing me," she whispered. He nodded. "Every moment we shared, every choice you made, was seen. I needed to know your heart. I needed to know that kindness in you was real. That it existed without expectation, without reward." She blinked, her mind struggling to process. But why? Why go to such lengths? "Because family matters," he said. His voice was gentle, yet carried weight. "I lost my family once. I've seen what pride and misunderstanding can do. I wanted to know if you, my granddaughter, were true. If you could choose with honesty, even when life tempted you otherwise." Lena's chest tightened. She thought of Aaron leaving, of the apartment empty and cold, of the office without Mr. Cole quietly polishing floors. All the tiny moments she had shared with him now unfolded in her mind like a carefully painted tapestry. Every gesture, every conversation, every quiet act of care had been part of a larger plan she had never seen. She felt tears well up, unbidden, all this time. "You were here watching me?" she asked. "Yes," he said. "And you passed. You chose compassion, integrity, patience. You showed me who you truly are." She took a step closer, her emotions overwhelming her. "And now? Now what?" He smiled, the same gentle, knowing smile she remembered from the hallway. "Now we begin again. I offer you a place in this family, in my life, in whatever world you choose to build. Not because of wealth, not because of position, but because you are worthy of trust, love, and respect." She looked around the grand house, the chandeliers, the polished floors, the quiet elegance of it all. It was beautiful, yes, but it was not beauty that moved her. It was recognition. Finally, she was seen not as an employee, not as a girlfriend, not as a struggling young woman, but as herself. Her mind drifted to all the mornings they had shared, him asking questions she barely understood, him listening as though every word mattered. She realized he had given her something far greater than wealth. Clarity. She understood now what mattered. She understood herself. "I don't want your money," she said softly. I only want the chance to be part of your life. To learn, too. To be family." He nodded, eyes shining. "That is why you deserve it. That is why you passed the test. And it is also why the future can be ours to build together." For the first time in months, Lena felt a sense of calm settle over her. The pain of loss, the heartbreak of Aaron leaving, the fear of being overlooked, all of it began to fade, she realized. Now that life was not about avoiding loss or seeking comfort. It was about choices, integrity, and the courage to act kindly even when the world seemed indifferent. She spent the evening walking through the house, guided by him. He showed her rooms, Old photographs, places she had never imagined. Each room told a story. Each hallway whispered secrets of the past. And as they walked, Lena noticed something remarkable. The same calm, gentle energy she had felt in the small hallway mornings now filled the halls of this grand home. It was not wealth that made the house alive, okay? It was presence, care, and history. At dinner, the two of them sat quietly. She looked at him across the table, seeing the man he truly was. More than a janitor, more than a grandfather, more than a figure of wealth. He was someone who had chosen to test her, not for power, but for truth. And she realized she had been waiting for him to see her all her life, not knowing that the test itself had prepared her to meet him. After dinner, they stood near the tall windows overlooking the city. The lights below twinkled like stars fallen to earth. Lena felt a mixture of awe and humility. She remembered every morning they had spent together in the quiet building, every question, every act of kindness, every moment he had observed her without judgment. "I never realized," she said softly, "how much your presence mattered." "It is easy to underestimate quiet things," he replied. "They shape us more than loud ones ever could." She nodded, taking a deep breath. "I understand now. I understand why you did all of this." He reached out, placing a hand lightly on hers. "And now you understand yourself. That is the greatest gift anyone can receive." For a long moment, they simply stood looking at the city below. Two figures connected by trust, love, and a shared past they had only just begun to understand. Lena felt a warmth spread through her chest, a sense of belonging she had never known. In that moment, she realized something deeper. Life's greatest tests were not about money, status, or success. They were about seeing, understanding, and choosing what mattered most. She had been tested, she had passed, and now she had the chance to live fully, openly, and honestly. As night fell, the city lights shimmering beneath them, she turned to him and smiled. "Thank you," she said, voice steady. "For everything." He smiled back, that gentle, knowing smile. And for the first time in years, Lena felt whole. She realized that the story was no longer about loss, loneliness, or fear. It was about connection, truth, and the quiet, enduring power of love that had waited for her all along. And as they stood together, framed by light and shadow, Lena understood the truth she had been seeking. Sometimes family tests you, life challenges you, and people surprise you, but in the end, the ones who truly matter will always see you. She didn't need to ask what came next. The path was clear. The future was theirs. And for the first time, Lena walked forward, knowing she was chosen, truly and completely, for who she was. The house, the wealth, the grandeur, they mattered less than this: a chance to be seen, to be loved, and to belong. And that, she realized, was the most powerful inheritance of all. Lena turned toward him, ready to step into a new life, ready to embrace the love and guidance he offered, ready to honor the trust and kindness that had shaped her journey. The story had changed, but its heart remained the same. Kindness matters. Choices matter, and love, true love, quiet and steady, always finds a way. And as the night deepened, with the city below twinkling endlessly, Lena felt a soft, certain hope bloom inside her. She was not alone. She was not small. She was seen. She was loved. She was home.